Hello and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto TA Charts live stream with me, No FOMO Charts. Today is May 31st, 2022. It's Tuesday, about 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The stock market is now closed. Let's go ahead and start with the stock indexes. We'll do about half-half today, stocks and crypto. It was an interesting day today. We had a nice continuation rally for the past 3 to 4 business days. And we did close today with the DOGE candle, at least on this chart, the S&P 500 chart. Very interesting development. And again, it's the uptrend started from about May 25th. So if you're in my Discord group, I did write a market note. Let me bring it up here. I did write a market note saying that I'm watching tech stocks and stock indexes to see if a bull bounce or rally occurs with follow-through volume amidst stock earnings. And that is exactly what happened. However, today we did have a bit of a double top in the S&P 500, which is why I closed my long swing trade positions and took my profit today. So, it depends on what time frame I'm looking at. If I start with the daily, yes, we did have this support level established on the bottom above 389, and we rallied to the resistance level, which is approximately 413. Okay, so that is swing trading in a nutshell. Just capturing this one swing was successful. The next step is, okay, what's going to happen from here? Let's look at these scenarios. Well, in the medium term time frames, like a swing trading time frame, it's possible that we are double topping right here at 417. And I'll be watching for if a downstairs pattern is going to occur all the way back down to, over time, maybe back down to 407 or 400 level. 400 would be a little bit of a stretch, but if we use Fibonacci, we can see, okay, 236, it's 408. That's not impossible. That's not impossible to get there, right? All right, 408 hit the 382 levels, $403, 400 or 394. So stock market earnings season is mostly over. It's just some other companies that are reporting, but today there's some tech stocks that still reported today. Salesforce just reported a few minutes ago. HP just reported their earnings a few minutes ago as well. Again, if we really draw these resistance and support trend lines, we can see we did break out of this rising wedge in the blue, broke out of the rising wedge, back tested that support, and then rallied up. However, again, we do have this double top here at 417, and I'm looking to see, okay, how far are we going to pull back here? Because once we're just testing this little short-term trend line right here. We just broke down below it in the futures chart, which I'm looking at right now. So a lot of tech stocks, let me bring up the indicators. A lot of tech stocks, I'll have this similar type of chart on the hourly right now. Even Bitcoin does a little bit. Is that we had the nice rally, we had the nice EMA up cross, but I'm looking for the pullback down, the reversion to the mean on these indexes. So that's what we're looking for. This is more about swing trading on this chart. It's not really about day trading or investing. Long-term investing, if we want to, because I know some people are interested in that, is, we're just looking for the lowest price possible on these good companies. That's it, really. So, if the pullback is not done in the long term, I'm on a weekly chart right now. You can see this. It's kind of a really messy chart. But you can kind of see that we're establishing possibly the lower high right now. It's kind of like March 28th to April 4th week, right where my mouse is, right here. If we get an evening star pattern, that would be bad on a weekly. We are starting, the week is not over, but at least the first day is a doji candle on this daily. So that's a little suspicious. Little suspicious. Okay, let's move on to QQQ. QQQ, and so this was the setup from last stream, is that I was saying on the NASDAQ ETF, we are establishing a level of support here that if somebody or a trader, hypothetically, this would be interesting risk to reward. It was that 2-to-1. Apple also hit the 6% target. There's 3% to downside, which never went down. And we hit the 6% target yesterday, Friday, and today. And so it hit the resistance target, the profit target, exactly. So this is the power of technical analysis. The second target is higher, but if we zoom out a little bit, we can see there's that similar resistance zone like S&P 500, the horizontal resistance right here, which is why the market's kind of hesitating right now. And the, excuse me. And in these medium-term time frames, we are seeing that resistance again right here on this horizontal. It's not quite perfect, but it's there, the 312 resistance level. And so it's very similar index pattern where we have the support trend line. We had this resistance trend line, almost ascending triangle like breakout. The measure move was what we did this last week. About 4% from the breakout. We went to 4% from the breakout, and market is selling off. So this double top is a little bit questionable. It's not over for the rally. It's not the end of the entire rally, but I would not be surprised if we started pulling back a little bit, just because we did get a little bit into the overbought range. The MACD has down crossed as well, and on the 4-hour we are establishing a lower high on that as well. We're losing a little bit of momentum on the 4-hour as well for swing trading, so which is why I took my profit. But if we zoom out to a daily and a weekly, it's a slightly different story. I mean, the weekly has some serious bullish momentum, but just like S&P 500, watching out for that potential lower high right here in the zone, somewhere here. It might not be today or tomorrow, but in the next couple of weeks, I'll be watching this to see, okay, are we going to establish a lower high, and then are we going to go back down more? Additional pullback. This could just be a dead cat bounce where it just goes up, and then we're going to go down in a few months from now. Or it could be the start of the next uptrend because of this down here on the MACD bullish momentum, but that could take 6 months or a year to play out. All right, when's the last time we had something like that? Not really. I mean, the past similar one was 1 year ago, and then we had continuation, but we were already in the uptrend. This is such a deep pullback, right? We need more confirmation of the uptrend reversal. There's just something to watch out for. A lot of these indexes are going to look similar. So we'll go to Dow Jones. I know there's a lot of lines. We just look at the price first. So this nice hammer candle. I might erase it. So we have the nice hammer candle. And again, if we zoom in a little bit, there was that level of support. And to see the price exactly the way I see it is, I'm on a premium account that has paid data in the pre-market, post-market. That's why somebody with a free account is not actually going to see the price exactly as what's shown here on the chart. This is the, I believe this is the premium paid data that you're seeing here, right? In this post-market, the pre-market. So there's a slight advantage to having the premium paid data, extra data, market data from TradingView. So once I saw this, I said, okay, there's some support being established here on the 19th and 20th, and we started uptrending again. And this is an interesting case study. Again, it's the trend reversal. Is the question for me to myself as a trader and analyst is, can I identify the trend and then the subsequent reversals? And last week, that's exactly what happened. That's what I did. as a trader and analyst, right? This downtrending, and then all of a sudden it stops. If you're in the market every day, or you're trading in the market every day, you can actually just feel it as well. It's all of a sudden all the shorting stops, and then starts going green. It starts going long. It's like, wait a second, something's going on here. And then also the technicals confirm it. The price confirms it. So we are in this short-term, medium-term uptrend, although, right, it's the same, it's so similar. All these three indexes on the hourly are so similar, it's so correlated. We did have a little bit of this double top right here. So again, the pre-market data actually helps, because if somebody can't see this, then it doesn't make any sense. But because I can see it, it's like, oh, there's a double top right here. Potential bearish breakdown, pullback. That's what I'm looking at. It's still riding this trend line. So I believe the market is not going to panic sell unless we start lose this. Let's lose this level 328. That's probably what a lot of traders are looking at. Once we lose 328, or if we lose 329 the next couple days, shorts are going to aggressively short right here, right in that 328, 329 region. It's getting steep, right? If you're a swing trader, this is a very, very similar, this is very, very familiar pattern, right? It starts uptrending, and then at a certain point, the support fails. So at somewhere up here, it's going to fail, the support, and we're going to pull back down on the medium term. The long term, however, is slightly different story. Again, the daily, we zoom out and just look at this daily. We might be forming the left side of a reversal pattern. So, you know, one red day or one doji candle, it's not going to completely crash the market. We need time, we need price trend reversal, and we need a pattern that I'm looking for. So it could be forming now in the next 1 or 2 weeks on Dow Jones. So just something to watch out for. Okay, let's move forward here. Let's go to let's look at oil. So oil, the big breaking news yesterday, and if you didn't know, the USA had a holiday yesterday. It was a holiday weekend. And yesterday the breaking news was the EU voted to ban most of the Russian oil purchases. In a nutshell, you can check it on Wall Street Journal or CNBC News for yourself. And that had an effect on the US oil price, which is a commodity, which actually had a correlation with Bitcoin. It's very interesting. But from a certain perspective, Bitcoin is also considered a commodity, a digital commodity as well. So sometimes Bitcoin correlates with oil, and then sometimes it correlates with tech stocks. That's like a secret. It's like a trick that happens. So today it did not really correlate that much with tech stocks. It was all about oil, and we had this we had the rally up to 32K. But stocks have retreated down faster. Bitcoin is still holding right now. Time of this video is 31,680, 31,820. Now we have oil. So we know that the demand and supply chain of oil is going to be affected throughout the whole rest of the year because of that EU vote. However, though, the last large weekly swing low was way back here in December 2021. So again, there's some issues here with the technicals are kind of flashing a warning sign here on oil. It's more about the fundamentals. There is a little bit of bearish momentum forming, but it could be like September 2020 where we see, I'm talking about this and this and this right here, because the MACD histogram and the RSI, and then we look at the price, is we could pull back, but it might not be the end of the rally, right? Because somebody was panicking back here, that's not the right place to panic back here in 2020. Right, what we're talking about 2022 now is, okay, we're closing above this EMA near the resistance line. And so for investing, we're talking about 6 months, 3, 6, 9 months on a quarterly basis. And the pullback could pull back, 10 to 15%. It could also continue to rally 10 more percent. So it's about a plus or minus 10% of volatility. The only thing is we're edging up close, right, pushing into this resistance line right here. So $85 to $100 is that resistance range on the top side here. If we cannot reach that, we're going to pull back down deep, probably to the EMAs first, like $80 or $75 are those targets. For US oil. So you just want to watch out for that as an investor. I know people are still trying to trade this, and that's okay, because you can see it here in the trading volume. The shorts are shorting it down, and then the longs are buying it long, and then it's a battle. But it's this consolidation up here into this triangle is what's concerning. Almost feels like Bitcoin. It almost feels like a crypto at this point. So if we draw these two lines, okay, it's closer to the resistance top side than a support level on the bottom side. So longs beware is what I'm saying. Longs beware of that if you're a swing trader. Okay, let's go to natural gas, UNG. All right, we have a lot of targets here. I'll erase these. But just like some other ideas I've seen here on TradingView, everyone kind of has this general similar consensus is that you want to watch out for the weekly bearish momentum here on natural gas. Is it going to go down tomorrow? Is it going to crash down tomorrow? It depends on the market. It's not me, right? But we do have this bearish momentum. We have the breakout. It's seeking out its weekly higher high. At some point, this thing is going to pull back, UNG ETF, where to 2667, 2331, possibly even to 20. Will it go all the way down to 15? Maybe someday in the future, once all this energy supply chain issues are all over. But to hit the bottom here, last time it took 100 days. So 3 to 4 months, right? So again, longs beware on this. And this is why I remember, just a quick recap, in my December stream, we were actually talking about this area as the buy zone. I remember on one stream I said this is the 618. So, technical analysis matters. It helps. So just longs beware on this one. I know people are still trying to trade it. But, when an asset goes really, really high or it goes parabolic, that's when we start wanting to be cautious as traders. So as a trader, if I miss something, I just let it go. I learn from it, let it go, move on to next asset. I don't need to keep chasing anything in the market. Sometimes the trades just come to you if I'm patient. Like, for example, the trades I made in March, I waited about 2 months. I was talking to my colleagues about this. I waited about 2 months and placed some good trades in May, and I just closed them, right? So that's the patience and discipline part of trading. Not chasing everything that I see flashing here on my watch list. So just want to watch out for this in terms of the swing trading. Is that, okay, if I'm a long, this is not any oversold level. So not really interested in the swing trading part. If it's more day trading levels, okay, it's getting close. But like I said, at a certain point, the support is going to fail. So this support right here at 2650, if this starts downtrending hard and we lose that, then that longer term bearish downtrend is going to take over. So just want to watch out for that. So longs beware on UNG. All right, let's keep moving. I'm going to switch over to do something that usually we don't look at. We're going to look at some Forex just to keep an eye on currencies. I know a couple people trade Forex, so we'll just take a quick sidestep to Forex, gold, and then we'll move on to stocks and then crypto. So Forex, look at the Euro USD, it matters, is that we had this full retracement all the way back down. That's significant. Okay. So if we zoom out, look at a weekly, where are we? We're closer to the support level. And I remember one person on my idea was saying that the parity of trying to get to $1. It's like it's possible. It was definitely possible. But the technicals showed us that we have a support level a little higher at about 104. Okay, so we did hit that 104 level and then we bounced off of that level, the yellow bar on the bottom. And then we're bouncing up to where? Bouncing up to the resistance at the top. Perfectly. And then we pull back. So longs pretty much want to beware for this. If they're a swing trader, there was the support target right here at 102, and it's correlated with the stock market bounce, right? So if this thing is at the resistance and the stock market might pull back in the short term, and this Forex pair is at the resistance, it might pull back. Slightly higher odds it's going to pull back, although we do just barely have the golden cross on the 4 and the H4 chart. It's already been H1 up crossed for weeks, right? But it's just, if we zoom out, right where the circle is on this line is the resistance line. So it's hesitating here. So it's either going to break out, which would be very nice to see some continuation, or it might just pull back all the way back down to like 106. We just want to watch out for that. USD JPY, nice rally. It's been in an uptrend for a very long time. If you look on the weekly, I mean, it went parabolic. It went parabolic. We just rested above the 126 level. They have this, again, Forex. This is why I look at stocks and all these assets, because sometimes they move in tandem together, correlation. So this is like that stock market pullback. And then once we found this kind of bottom support, you might have to zoom in a little bit. It's the same thing right here. Same thing is, wait a second, there is this triangle, symmetrical triangle, just like crypto. 0.72 target. And then once it started breaking out, because we notice if we turn everything off, it's not going down right at this exact spot, May 29. 2200 time right here. It didn't go down, it broke out. So if somebody put alerts here like that, then they would know and then can initiate a trade, right? In the context of, oh, the stock market could be rallying this week, and then it rallied. How much? Almost the 1.4% target, but it definitely went 0.72 right to the dot, and then it sold off. So that's traders and algos. It is still up crossed, but I would beware, right? Floating in the sky right now, a little bit overbought. A pull back down to 128 or 128.45 or 128.20 or 127.83 is not impossible. It's like Jenga. If you ever play that board game Jenga, how high can it go before it falls and pulls back, right? It's just like physics. If you throw a ball into the sky, at some point it's going to stop, lose momentum, and pull and come down. Stocks is the same way. It just depends on the time frame we're talking about. Talk about medium-term swing trading. If we just look at the charts, you could get some kind of sense of time, how much it's going to go up. 4 days, okay, and then when it goes down, 4 days or 5 days, 3 days. It's very similar. Okay, if it goes up, 1 day, it's going to pull back. Okay, 1 day. Then sometimes you get these 4-day rallies, right? So I would be watching for, well, what if this thing starts rounding top and then the next 6 days this thing pulls back, right? So just want to watch out for that on USD JPY. We'll do one more. We'll do Aussie dollar USD. Very similar. And here's where some of these trading view indicators can help us. We had the double bottom on RSI. We had the bullish momentum right here. We had a Fibonacci support level. And if we zoom in on the 4 hour, wow, we had a 4 hour upside down head and shoulders. There's 4 reasons to go bullish. This would have been a nice Forex trade because up to date 3%, phenomenal trade, 1.5% stop loss. I mean, this is trading. This is trading just like that 6% to 3% on the stock indexes. Okay, But at the same time, is okay, it's hourly up cross, so you know, this might not be the end of the rally. However, it is closer to the resistance side, kind of in this middle part. And it is hesitating a little bit, just like stocks. This looks like today's S&P 500 chart, very similar. So there are a bunch of correlations in the market everywhere. We had this head and shoulders pull back, but then it's almost trying to, stock market is trying to double bottom and continue. It looks like this Forex pair is trying to do the same. However, just watch out. At some point, it'll top out and pull back down a little bit deeper than this one. This one is not enough pullback. Right? Sometimes what happens is, I see this in crypto all the time. We have a big uptrend. One of these times, the support's going to fail. It breaks down, retests, and then it's a trend change down. So you want to watch out to not get caught in the last one. All right, let's move on. Let's look at gold and silver, and we'll look at a couple stocks. So gold, this was a nice trade. We talked about this, I believe, 1 week ago on the stream. Here's the almost 2 to 1 or 1.5 to 1 reward to risk gold play, and then it happened, the double bottom on gold, the bounce, and then the sell-off. So people already, day traders, swing traders, they already got their probably 2% on gold, and then they're out. They're out. Shorts taking over. Where are we now? Watch out for the resistance right here. So there's two scenarios. When I look at this, I say, okay, I see the larger, longer term. This is probably the weekly chart, right? Just with my eyes. All right. The larger term trend is downtrend. But if gold stays above 1828 or at least 1808, there is a chance for an uptrend reversal too. So just keep that in mind on gold as our safe haven, one of them. Right, but is it oversold on the 1 hour, 4 hour? Just barely on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. So it looks like it's probably going to pull back just a little bit before bulls come back and try to push this thing back up to about 1841 or 1846. So watch out for that on gold. Next, silver. Silver, same deal. I circled it and marked it last time. We're in this oversold range at above the 50% retrace. We could rally, and then that's what happened. It went 6%. Very nice trade. It's been selling off in the post market right now. So again, swing trading, sometimes you have to be quick. As a swing trader or as a day trader, have to be very quick as a day trader. The technical analysis has to be very, very fast and has to be very correct. So that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you get this little rising channel or rising wedge, and then at a certain point, it's that Jenga effect. All the blocks fall down, right? And you get some deep retrace. So we're looking for a level of support on price, and it is happening at 2152. So a little bit of this intraday support. I would not be surprised if this bounce back to 2173 before trying to pull back down. One possible scenario. On the daily, this is what a lot of stocks look like in terms of momentum. Is we did have this bounce off of this bullish momentum and oversold down here on RSI and MACD, and the price did bounce up into a resistance level, rejecting down. So if we use Fibonacci, our 50%, we just hit it 2147. Our 618 is a little lower at 2119. So these are the levels that people are playing off of. So just watch out, just in case if there's a little bit more sell-off before attempted lower high reversal price retest. Okay, let's look at a couple stocks and then we'll move on to crypto. Took little lane walk down Forex lane because some people asked me for Forex. All right, we'll just do a couple of these majors here. Look at some big tech stocks because tech is obviously leading the way. So Apple's very similar to QQQ. We had this large doji candle today, large, very large. So there is some market indecision up here and for Apple in the 150 range. And then we do have a gap support at 145. So watch out for that. Again, I'm watching very closely. What are the next 2 or 3 candles going to be? Because if it's going to be an evening star pattern, if we open lower tomorrow, evening star, that's bad. So if you know your candle patterns, that's something to watch out for. I am also aware of the fact that, okay, if this is some kind of tradable bottom on the market, just like QQQ is this our lower high? Because it could go all the way up to here to the 160s and still be a lower high. So the rally, the long-term rally might not be over. However, if we're still in the bearish market and we have a bearish outlook, then this resistance is our stopping point, the 152. So it really depends on the next couple of weeks. Another reason why we pulled back down today, starting from about 10, 11 a.m., is President Biden of the USA met with FOMC chairman to talk about inflation, and then that flashing headline of saying President Biden is not going to interfere with FOMC interest rates in regards to inflation. That's basically why we sold off in the market today at the end of the day. That's basically why. As soon as that breaking news happened, I was trading, I went short in the day trade, and then the market crashed like 1% on my stock that I was trading. I was like, okay, it's great, right? It's fine. So, and it started downtrending. Let me actually show you. So on the S&P 500, it's like, okay, what? Let me actually use a real chart that people can read. The S&P 500, like on a 5-minute chart. Right here at 11 o'clock. It was like, that was about right here. That was right about when, this is today, by the way. Today, starting from right, this pink line to the end of here. Right? So we had a nice rally today. We had sell-off, oversold, bounce, higher low, bounce, higher low, resistance point. And it started consolidating. It was uptrending into the consolidation. We broke out and then we double topped. And then that breaking news came out and then it was just pure red for about 1 hour. So I ended up shorting right here on the top right here, a certain stock. Basically captured that, closed it. Then knew, okay, it's forming a support level, and I flipped it and I went long. And then I ended. So my day trading for today was fine. In terms of closing out swing trades, I did that right here, over here, because just based upon experience and technical knowledge, it's like, okay, it looks like the market's kind of topping out for today on this, especially like on the hourly chart. That was close enough, right? And then the market pulled back down at the end of the day. So if we start zooming out, this is what I'm saying. That it's like way up here. It's this double top, right? So if we just switch over to even just real quick to Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin had the rally. Is it over for Bitcoin? No, because from my experience in Bitcoin, Bitcoin sometimes leads, sometimes Bitcoin lags late. So right now, Bitcoin's a laggard. It's following the market. It didn't lead the market into the rally, the global assets. It followed the stock market and oil commodity. And we still have this doji candles, exact same thing on S&P 500. So was a measure move of Bitcoin 8%? Did we go 8%? We did. So the measure move is over, the first one. The second measure move will be 16%, 1.6. So 16% would be like 34,227 if we ever get up there. The first 8% was 31,650. Should we measure this? It's going to be textbook. These are the two targets. Basically 32,000 and then $37,000 for Bitcoin would have been the targets. So we're going to watch out for 30,000 support. If we pull back down to there, right? Sometimes crypto can just keep going. I know we have this nice bullish momentum on the weekly. So it's not over. The rally's not over unless something bad happens catastrophically with the stock market. But just like SPY, it's there, it's building. SPY went first, and now Bitcoin is going, but it's just the first green candle of the week, right? So we need much more time. We need 6 months, 3 months for this really to play out. 100-day moves are that's about common, right? If it's from top to bottom, it's about 100 days. Here, top to bottom, 120. Top to bottom, 130. So it's, what is that, 3 months, 4 months? Approximately, right? So if for Bitcoin, if we're going to start a new uptrend, 3 months from now is basically September. So what I'm looking for in Bitcoin price is if we're going to start this rally, I'm looking at a weekly chart. We need to higher high, we need to do this and not stop. Because there is this trend line just like that. So where's the obvious target? It really is 40,000 long term. Okay, but it could take like 2 months to get there. In the short term, which usually everybody's staring at, is medium term for daily charts, even 4-hour charts for swing trading, is we are in this short-term overbought scenario. This is what I'm saying. Same thing with stock market, 1 hour, 4 hour, it kind of looks the same. So what I'm looking for is, okay, is this Bitcoin gonna pull back down to 30,000, 31,000 and retest it to prove to the entire world this uptrend is real? Okay, because we have to think about it like this. If Bitcoin is going to rally for 6 to 9 months, it should never come down to retest 30,000, like 28,000, 29,000 ever again for this year, right? We did have this big, long consolidation phase during earnings. Everybody was paying attention to earnings, including me. But now that earnings is over, for the most part, we know that interest rates are going to go up. We kind of have a general roadmap of this year. Now for Bitcoin and crypto traders, it's a matter of, can we sustain the bull rally? Yes, we're going to have pullbacks on the way, but can we sustain the rally for bulls or not? Because the weekly certainly says we want to do that. We just bounce off the 200 EMA. Our 1 hour's up crossed as well, right? So it's a matter of Jenga again. Digital Jenga. How high can we go before there's a big crash pullback in the market? Okay. But before, we just have to do a couple of stocks. Okay. The only one I really want to do, we looked at Apple for a little bit. So we just want to see that we did have this death cross on the daily and the resistance up here at 152. Okay, just watch out, 152, 160. If it pulls back, it could pull back to 143, even to like 138, even as long as we hold that. If we lose 136 on Apple, that's really bad, because that would mean that the downtrend is continuing and we'll probably have some serious sell-off. Okay, the next one I want to do is GameStop. Why? Because GameStop has earnings on tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's June 1st. Okay, so Salesforce and HP, they already had their earnings. We take a quick peek into that. I might go a little over time today, but GameStop, why? It's a meme stock. It has a relationship to like Wall Street Bets, to Reddit, a little bit to crypto, and to all these other meme stocks like AMC, BlackBerry, etc., etc. The classics, right? Meme stocks from last year. So what's going on here? I'm not trying to predict the financial report, but what we're looking at is support, resistance, and is there a trend? On the weekly, we are downtrending still. Okay, just attempting to uptrend, but if you zoom out to a monthly chart, is okay, that's still a downtrend. We haven't made a higher high yet, so it's still technically, it's a little choppy. But that could also reflect the psychology of market participants, because I have seen hashtag GME and hashtag AMC pop up a lot more in the past week than 1 month ago. So when it's going in a downtrend, everybody's silent. But then all of a sudden, when it hits a double bottom, I start seeing those hashtags pop up all over the place. And so then I know something's up, right? It's the little bit of the social sentiment going on. It did hit that oversold. However, if someone's hashtagging GameStop yesterday, which I did see, I'm like, you want to watch out for the earnings first. Okay, so just watch out for the earnings. regardless if it's good or bad, let's talk about support resistance trend. We know it's in this downtrending channel for the most part. Okay, so where's our resistance? We just established a level today, $140. It could be 192. The pullback down would be 112 and probably $100 psychological, and then probably 80 because that was the previous level. Okay, so we want to just watch out for that. I'm not going to personally touch GameStop maybe for 2 days. I want to see the earnings report. Let the big players just do whatever they want to do with this stock based off earnings reaction, and then I'll consider doing something. We just want to watch out for those targets because GameStop is basically in the middle of the channel essentially. So, you know, it's not like it was down here at support level. I would be a little more excited as a bull if it was down there right on earnings. That was that end of March play, March 14th, big play. And then we went straight to the top of the channel, phenomenal gains. But then we pulled all the way back, right? So this was a better spot when people were hashtagging GME 2 weeks ago, right? And then people are taking their profit today. So again, jumping in today before earnings could be very, very catastrophic. So I'm warning people, just beware about that. Just wait. I'm going to wait a day or two. If I miss it, doesn't matter. Does not matter. No emotions about that. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at my list. Okay, that's probably the only one I want to talk about, Apple and GameStop. Running out of time. Let's go to crypto. Take a quick look at total market cap. We did have this nice rally in crypto the past couple days, and just remember what I was saying is we're in the 618 zone. I remember last week on the stream saying, okay, we know we have this candle wick here that's been tested last week. So if you have a little sim triangle, watch out. I remember saying it. Watch out for the pullback and then the rally, and that's what happened. Right at the 618 level. So just being very sensitive. Okay. And just a side note is I know a lot of really bad things happen in America, especially, and global in the past 1 week. It's terrible, catastrophic. One thing I did learn about stocks and crypto, though, is, you know, it keeps going. So, you know, I try to, in my mind, just as a person, human being, I try to separate basically like business, finance, or professional versus my personal life or what's happening in the world, right? With me or with other people. And, you know, I have empathy and sympathy. I feel very bad for what happened in America and the world over the past week. So many negative events. But the market keeps going. You know, world keeps turning. And so, you know, if you just compartmentalize it as I'm looking at charts just as a business finance for like 1 hour perspective only, then there was a setup here. And I know people not living in America, it was less of an issue, right? It was a lot of Americans were having, you know, it's very emotional the past weekend. But this was here, right? So 1 hour and the 4 hour chart, there's actually an upside down head and shoulders, just like Forex, right? Right here, this thing. Upside down head and shoulders. What was the measured move? 3%. Did we go 3%? We went way more than that. We went 6%, 9%. We hit triple the target. Phenomenal. Right? So just being aware and sensitive to that. This is what the skill is of technical analysis, is the trend change. That's why I keep talking about these three concepts: support, resistance, trend, and then social sentiment as well. But there is, what is this? Is a downtrend. Then it went sideways and now we went up, right? So capturing this exact spot is the skill. That's the skill. Or shorting this exact spot is the skill right here. Or logging this exact spot right there is the skill. So if somebody knows exactly what they're doing, they put on some risk, right? Because even here, I knew, regardless of the bad events that's happening in the world globally and almost every major country is, what is this little price thing telling me right here? What is this price action telling me? Is it going to go up? If it's higher chance than 50% it's going to go up, then I would initiate a long trade with a this thing keeps erasing, with a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, right? Oh, this chart's bugging out. Okay. You know what I mean? I'll just draw it there. This is what I'm saying, right? And then once it hits my profit target, I'm out. I'm out. Like on my swing trades, I'm not getting super greedy about it. I hit my profit target, I'm out, walk away. Close the trade, walk away, turn the computer off, whatever I have to do, and I'm out of there. Right? So for Bitcoin, Bitcoin, there are these levels of support on the way, and I know that because I looked at this chart earlier today, it's already up cross on the 1 hour. Now what I'm looking for is it ever going to come down? Because if it does, that could be a trend change reversal back to the downside, right? High, low, high, low, high. Where's the higher low? It could be a little baby higher low like this, right here at 1.28. I've seen that happen in crypto, and then we skyrocket to the moon. I've seen that happen too. But I've also seen where this happens, and it's just, this is the lower high of the larger term chart, and then we pull back down. Like 1.26, 1.23, right? So watch out for that, these levels that the EMA is 126, 124 for swing trading. For investing, it is a completely different story because, again, we did have this very large head and shoulders pattern, which would be negative 60%. And please keep in mind that it's not saying every crypto is going to crash. It could at a worst case scenario. But the one that did crash negative 80 was Luna, right? So everybody knows about that now. But this warning sign was here a long time ago. All of a sudden, I remember one of my members, we were talking about 6 months ago or 9 months ago here that this was the top of the market. And that's when all cryptos were basically still green. I remember one of my long-term members, we were talking about it right here. We talked about it here and talked about it here. And then we started talking about it again here. Right. So I haven't touched some of these altcoins because I'm like thinking, and I know from charts, this thing means it's going to go down. So I am not touching cryptos for the most part. But we did have a nice green bounce. Right. And you've already kind of seen this chart of the Bitcoin. So just watch out for that. The correlations, it looks almost every chart, it almost looks the same right now for the major asset. Right, Bitcoin, we already talked about this. Let's talk about it one more time. Is that, okay, we had the breakout, and now we're going to establish support at 31.4K. If we drop below 31.344, it's going to turn to a morning star pattern, and this thing's going to go down back to 30K. All right, so we just watch out for that. It's going to take 1 day, 24 hours, and then I'll know. Is it going to go down or is this thing going to go up? Right, intraday people, they're just looking at the support. Like visually like this. It's going to go up or is it going to go down? You can set alerts too, right? Horizontal alert, Alt A on your charts. Let's take a quick glance at some other cryptos and then we'll close out because I know Cardano had a phenomenal gains. I know Waves had phenomenal gains. If you're a crypto trader, it was a great weekend for crypto trading. All right, see, even Ethereum hit the bounce, right? You hit the rally and then pulling back to where the EMA support. This is what I'm watching out for on SPY, S&P 500, QQQ. It's like right here, right now. I'm wondering, in a day or two, we're pulling back, just like this one, just like this chart. Now we could draw the the support line on the bottom side, and that's the downside target at 1900 for Ethereum. Up here, right? Up here, 4 hours, we just hit that resistance. We established that resistance pivot point. This is kind of a strange resistance. It barely works, but it's there. in the intraday. So it's stuck in that channel. 15 minutes. Right here. It's in a downward, I like to call it megaphone pattern. So it could break out of here and continue up to the upside, but at the same time, it could pull back. How would I know it's going to pull back? I need to see this right here, the rejection right above 90, right below 1955, pull back down to 1900. Watch out for that. On Ethereum, Binance Coin. Binance Coin almost looking like a tech stock because very similar. 4-hour chart had this support level, double bottom. We had the neckline breakout of the double bottom, and it went the perfect measure move, probably 3%. Did it go 3%? Oh, yes, it did. And then right at 3%, you can see here, right at 3%, right there is sold off. Then we had a little intraday oversold, bounced up again. Now we have a double top, just like tech stocks. So I am personally being a little bit cautious about Binance Coin right now. This is the short-term no FOMO mentality of, if I missed the great buy spot down here on the 4-hour chart because there were 5 signals telling me to buy, basically 5 things on the chart, at least 4 on the chart on multiple time frames telling me to buy, right? But then now it's saying, well, I should be a little bit careful. Yes, the 1 hour's up cross, 15-minute 1 hour's up cross, 4-hour is not yet, daily is definitely not yet. It's losing a little bit of momentum. On daily, I'm concerned about, wait, are we establishing our lower high? Because it was in this pattern, high, low, and it didn't go high. Is it going to go higher? That's the question, right? Because if it's going to maintain this pattern, it should have went to 350 by now. But it didn't. There's a little bit of selling, there's a little bit of pressure. But again, crypto, sometimes it lags a little bit and then it happens later. But if this does happen to be our lower high, this means the trend change reversal is happening right now as I'm talking. Lower high, if that's a lower high, we're going to make a lower low. Right? So 300 is not out of the question for Binance Coin. I'm just being mindful of that. Can also draw a trend line if I want to zoom out. Okay. I'm using extended just so it goes to infinity. It is still closer to the support side, but I want it to come down a little more to this like 310 range to get more interested in Binance Coin. Solana. So if we look at the daily, all right, there was this bullish momentum I was talking about last time. When did I do my stream last time? I think it was May 25th, I believe. So that's what I was saying last time right here. Let's do Alt V. Right there. So I was saying, watch out for the pullback and then the rally. It happened on almost every single crypto. Just from experience, I know, okay, this thing needs to crash, flash crash, and then there's always a bounce. Right? So on the H4, it did happen. Right, waiting for that oversold. I remember saying on some of these cryptos we're not oversold yet, and then once we got there, then it rallied up. So Solana, a lot of crypto trading is ruled by the day traders and the algorithms. It's high, low. If we're going to maintain our higher low, we need to not go below $45 to try to push up to 48 on this upside right here. I would just, if I'm opening this chart, if I'm personally thinking about trading, all I'm doing is support, resistance, watching out for those two levels, and we're right at the trend line. So if this is going to bounce, it's binary. This is yes, going to bounce up, or this is no, not going to. And then if it's short, then short futures that thing down. If it's long, then buy the bounce. All right. Stop loss 2 to 1. So this one probably could target the top of the left side right here. 5% to the upside. Like 2.5% to the downside. Small, medium amount of capital. That's the 2 to 1 reward to risk box. There's actually a tutorial about this. The long entry tool and the short entry tool that TradingView has made on their YouTube channel. TradingView YouTube channel is actually really, really good. There's some really good learning resources in there. I don't think a lot of people know about it. In my Discord group, I posted it. right? But you could learn about this tool. You could also learn about the short tool, the reverse. You still want to get that 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio with a medium, small amount of capital, medium amount of capital, so that one trade is not going to destroy somebody's account, especially if you're leveraged, right? That's why you never hear me talk about extreme options or extreme leverage plays, because I don't do any of that, right? That's how I was able to survive in the market for years. I don't do any of that. Like YOLO plays, risking everything on one trade and basically a coin flip, that's not good odds. I don't do that. Just wait for patience, wait for a high percent chance winning setup, and then I play lows. Takes some time to find it though. All right, so Cardano was an interesting, Cardano was different. So it hit this level, and I remember saying it might hit the 45-cent level on Cardano, and then where did it end up? 45 cents. How did I know that? Because we're looking at the support levels, okay? I know people are obsessed with indicators, but support levels. If I'm zooming out here, I'm staring at this chart on May 25th, which is the last stream, right here. I remember saying, okay, the pullback is this 47, 45, 40 cent range. Did we go to 40? No. But on this daily chart, what am I seeing? The support level, the 4-hour double bottom right there, the blue line. That's all traders are probably staring at, right? And then you say, it's oversold. Oh, this thing's bullish momentum. Oh, yes. Stock market looks like it's going to go up. Phenomenal. Great. Right? We hit that. It was a huge target down. That was negative 10% down. Basically the average of this same triangle from the conservative standpoint. And then where do we rally to? All the way to this 0.77, the 0.786 range. So traders jumped on this one because Cardano was moving. Right? If Cardano didn't really move that much, no one would touch it for crypto trading. It's because day traders saw, ooh, the up cross. Here we go. EMA to the moon. This is what people love. And then how much is it? Actually, it's a 40% move. Absolutely beautiful. But now it's pulling back. Okay. So you want to watch out for this. This is some of that anti-no FOMO or anti-FOMO, the no FOMO type of mentality is, if I'm a trader, I want to buy here at the lower spot. If I'm a long, like if I'm trying to if I want this thing to go up, you want to buy it low. Not come in at the exact end of it at 1 o'clock a.m. my time, which is EU trading. You never want to be the trader who comes in right here long. You don't want to do that. Because that is FOMO. Right? If you long here and you went to sleep, ooh, that trade is down negative 10%. Very catastrophic mistake, right? So sometimes when I see a big, winner up like this in terms of a mover that went up, I don't touch it. That's the difference, right? Because it's not what I'm looking for. If I see something that's already gone up too much, I say I don't buy it out of panic, fear, or just because everyone else is doing it. I'm thinking, well, where would I want to buy it where it's a decent spot? If we use Fibonacci, you could use EMA like 60 cents, 54 cents, 52 cents, 50 cents. I would be more interested in those levels than the exact level in time we're at right now. Although on the day trading, it did bounce on the really, really short term for like scalpers. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about swing trading and investing, right? Even using the RSI, one simple indicator. If this thing's overbought, no thank you. No thank you, I'll pass. There's this saying in one of these books. It might be Market Wizards. I forgot which book it was. It might be Wyckoff. I think it's Wyckoff. But Mr. Market, it's the analogy of the stock market, the crypto market. It's like a person. And they're asking me every day, hey, no FOMO charts, do you want to buy this asset? So when I open the chart, the Mr. Market is asking me, hey, no FOMO charts, you want to buy Cardano for 60 cents? Yes or no? And for me, a lot of times I say no. Right? It's like some just random guy walking to you up the street. Hey, you want to buy this thing for 60 cents? Like, what is it? It's Cardano. 60 cents? And then you have to think in your mind, right? What's the relative price, right? If somebody is trying to sell me something on the street, that's the thinking that goes on in my mind in like a matter of seconds. Okay, what is it? It's mostly probably going to be no if it's some random person, right? But if you come up to a chart, you have the price history, and it's Cardano, and it's 60 cents, and 3 days ago or 1 day ago is 45 cents. The answer for me is probably no. Right? That's why we use charts. And the way to get over the emotions, I mean, I would highly recommend paper trading, and then just studying a lot, practicing paper trading a lot, studying the charts a lot, practicing a lot, do some real detective investigating work, right? Look at the multiple time frames, right? It also depends on your time frame history. If you're going to hold Cardano for the rest of your life for 50 years or 80 years or 20 years, it's a slightly different story. Slightly different story. But if I'm talking about swing trading for the next 24 hours or something like that, and I'm thinking, okay, it could actually go up another 10%, but if I'm talking about spot A versus spot B versus spot C, okay, where as a bull long, where do I want to buy? Ideally, I would have wanted to buy at spot A on the chart. Price chart. Just turn everything off. Ideally, I would want it to buy at A because that was a relative low and it started basing, right? And then started going up and then started really going up. And then everybody, day traders jumped on it, right? And you just don't want to be the FOMO guy at the top, right? B is where shorts and futures would say, hey, this looks like a good spot to short. But then if it ever gets down here to C is where you might see the bounce. Could be here as well. So it could be 56 cents, could be 53 cents. So this might be way too advanced for people, but I'm just saying, if you make it simple in relative terms, well, you know, there's that saying, we want to buy low and sell high. So it's I want to buy A and sell B. I want to buy A and sell B, not the reverse. Too many people do the reverse. And why? It's because if you're not looking at the charts a lot, or you don't have your levels set, you're probably going to miss a lot. Like some traders I know when they're starting out, they just miss it because they're not looking at, they don't know what to look for, and then they miss the charts a lot. Like for me, yes, I did rest and have a vacation this weekend, but I did a lot of chart work before I went on vacation. So that's why I had successful stock trading. Crypto's the same way. If somebody just turned off their charts for a week and then turned it on right now and then saw Cardano up 50%, they're not happy about that, right? But we had a week to prepare for it. So that's the difference. So I'm not pointing anybody out on stream. I'm just saying from my own experience, from talking to other people, is stock market and crypto market keeps moving forward nonstop, regardless of what happens to my life or anybody else's life on the earth, right? As long as there's internet and the market exchanges are still open and there's no closure of it, market's still going to move. Assets still move. Okay. I can't do every single crypto out there, but the similar setup happened with the XRP. You had the double bottom XRP. This particular was too early, right? So this is actually a good example of being a little too early and then getting stopped out of that trade, because this would have been here. Might have barely lucked into it. So sometimes being too early in crypto is not good either, because then there's no profit, as shown in this example, right? So if a hypothetical trader like myself was patient and I waited to get to my first level, which I marked here, that is the better spot to buy, right? Instead of just closing my eyes and buying random and then losing. So We did retrace here. Now it's a different pattern. Now it looks like this. We had a nice breakout, right? So this is going to be a little triangle breakout. Very interesting on crypto. What's the measure move? 15%, 50%, 1.5 would be 45 cents. Lower this target a little bit. See if we get there or not. But on the short-term time frames, it has to pull back first. It's got to pull back first. High, low, high, low, high, low, higher, high. Possible. That's what it's trying to do. You can see a trend line right there. It bounced off that support. So XRP making a little bit faster move than some of these other cryptos. Let's move on. Might not do every single crypto, but AVAX. Starting to lose a little bit of momentum on this 4-hour. Look at a 1-hour chart for everybody. Start charting, right? Get my trend line down here. With the support area, a little bit of a double bottom, possibly, right? A little bit, generally, right at the $26 range. See if we could hold that. If we can't, you can see it's right under a trend line resistance. It's not quite super oversold either. Where was it really oversold? May 27. Let me see exactly. What day was that? That's Friday. Right? So this is what I'm saying. I'm not pointing anybody out, I'm just in general, is that I noticed that when there's a vacation holiday or when there's like, something bad happening in the world or something good happening in the world, is a lot of, because if you don't know, a lot of stock trading and crypto trading is algorithmic. It's not even humans. So that's why the market keeps moving regardless of what the humans do. It's programmed to do it. So if this gets low enough, bots and algos, they're buying this thing like crazy. Yes, buy, buy, buy. And then when it gets here, sell, sell, sell. Sell, sell, sell. All these highs. Right? So the bots and algos are making their 20% and their 30% in the market. And then if I just turn the screen on right now and I missed all of it, a chain reaction happens. Usually negative. And people's minds and their bodies as well, just physiological, psychological. So for me, again, if I open a chart like this, I'm looking for where's the next relative low that's a decent spot to buy. It depends on your time horizon too. Depends on the time horizon, because this weekly is saying, okay, we're trying to establish this weekly higher low. So if this is the higher low on AVAX, that would be great. Then we get try to make another higher high or retest. Okay, but it could take 6 months. All right, DOT on the 4-hour. Might speed things up. I went over time. I'm not gonna do every crypto, but DOT in the triangle. Dot in the triangle right now. Okay, but where is it on the triangle, in this particular triangle? Just turn off all the indicators. Is it at the top or is it at the bottom of the triangle? It's at the top. It used to be at the bottom. Because right when this pivot low was established on May 26, 5 p.m. my time, somebody could draw that. And then if they're watching it very closely every day or every couple hours, wait a second. We're not going below. We're not breaking down below this thing. Then what's the impetus? Long. Where? Top of the triangle. Stop loss where? 5%. This is a 3-to-1 trade. This is beautiful. Phenomenal. Hopefully somebody bought it on the way out, not on the way in, right? That's the trick with trading. And I kept saying last week, the bots and the algorithms, they know to do that. If someone was saying, oh, I'm going to buy the support down here, the market maker is saying, let's just short and kick everybody out. And then make it go up. That's the algorithms are designed to do that. That is a strategy of big money, of Wall Street, the algorithms, right? So sometimes, a lot of times on crypto, I have to do 2 trades. If I'm wrong the first time and then it looks like it's not going down anymore, I just buy it again. Buy it again. And then it's usually right. And you make all the profits back, right? So it's totally fine. But right now, again, if I'm a bull and I see this at resistance, I don't really want to buy that, right? Why? Because it's at the resistance point. It is a higher chance. If this thing does not break out, it's pulling back down. Where? To 994, 954. General area. Could even go lower to $9, right? So if I know mentally, if this thing goes down, I don't want to buy it here. I would want to buy it lower, right? The other strategy, okay, I mean, the other situation is if it breaks out, okay, then I'm just going to buy it on the breakout, but sometimes breakouts fail. So this depends. But if you zoom way out, okay, if we look on a weekly, like as an investor, where we just bounced off the 0.88, so 6 months from now, could DOT end up at $17 again? The answer is it could. But in the weekly, it's still in the weekly downtrend. So with a lot of these cryptos, I'm watching for the lower low on this weekly to see, will we bottom out before we bounce back up to like a $15? Meaning I need to see support somewhere, right? Just one green candle or one red candle might not mean anything to me, although people are starting to buy here at the 0.88 retrace. So crypto, it's getting to that point where if you're an investor, and because if you see a crypto like DOT, I'm not saying this is good and this is not financial advice, but as an educational example, okay, it was 80% off discount. If you really wanted to buy DOT, if DOT was a product hanging at Walmart, inside a Walmart Target, it was like a physical product. If this is like an NFT for sale, for example, in a store, and 6 months ago, it's the same thing, DOT, DOT NFT. It was $55 on the shelf. And then I go to the store this past weekend, hypothetically, the NFT store, hypothetical, and I say, wait a second. And it says discount. There's like a sticker. It says discount. And then I look at the price. It's $9. It depends, right? It depends on how good the asset is, the company. Is it even a good product? What is DOT? But that's the mentality, right? It could of course, it could crash down to nothing, but you know, that's the mentality of traders is, wait a second, this is $55 like 6 months ago, 9 months ago. Now it's $9. Somebody bought some. How do I know? There's a large hammer candle wick right there on middle of May. Somebody loaded up on DOT. Okay, Dogecoin. We look on the weekly. This is the definition of downtrend. Still in the downtrend, or could you erase this alert right here? So there is some suspicious activity that happened with Shiba Inu owner. He like deleted all of his social media for some reason exactly 1 year after he started. So that to me is a little suspicious. So I'm a little suspicious of Shiba Inu, which we'll look at next. But for right now, look at Doge. All right, still in a weekly downtrend. Still in a weekly downtrend, just bouncing off of its 0.88 support level right now. If it's going to go bullish, I mean, the obvious targets to the resistance upside is 11 cents. Right there. 11 cents, I found it right here. But then if it's going to pull back down, 7 cents is the support level. So it's a plus or minus like 25%. That's pretty good volatility. Just don't want to get caught on the wrong side of it. Excuse me. So we want to see continuation rally. So the two scenarios, how it's going to play out in the price action, probably if it's going to go bull, we need to see the stair step pattern, and then you'll know because it's not going to come down, right? But this is the problem. If we think about it, if a trader's trying to go long, and it's going to do this, if we're going to end up, let's say, at like 10 cents or 15 cents, And we don't know how fast or when that's going to happen, or if it's going to happen. But if you know, again, if this is point A and this is point B and this is point C, if I'm along, where would I want to buy? Well, I actually might want to buy at point A zone, right? So it depends on how long I'm trying to hold for, right? If I'm trying to hold this asset for 5 minutes, this is the wrong spot to buy. But if I'm trying to hold this asset for 3 months, maybe. If I'm trying to hold this asset for 1 year, maybe. It depends, right? But on the charts, are we downtrending or uptrending? It's still going down, right? So if somebody wants to be super safe, this is not the time to long it. But if somebody's aggressive saying, ooh, this might be the bottom of the market, then interesting. Then it changes things, right? If somebody's trying to say this could be a bottom, tradable bottom in crypto, I'm going to put a 15% stop loss with a 30% profit target. I mean, that's an investment right there. So if somebody's trying to buy the A zone and then sell it in the B zone, right? Because if it ends up being correct, then they're going to capture the 25% profit. If they're wrong, they're going to lose 15% of the trade, not their whole 30% profit, 50% stop loss, right? But on a small amount of capital, not your all in. This is not the all in play. It depends on the mentality. So again, if Doge was an NFT and it was hanging on the shelves of the NFT store down the street, Doge is how much discount from its extreme high 1 year ago? I remember Dogecoin, I remember the day it went to 70 cents. I sold my coins and I got out of there, right? Again, the FOMO is so high. People were saying Doge is going to $1 or $10, and Bitcoin was flashing me, screaming at me in the chart saying, bearish, reversal. I just sold the coins here. And it's been downtrending, so I haven't even touched Doge for a year after that. Because I know from experience, once we have this massive FOMO breakout, I don't even want to play these bounces. I could have, but I don't need to. Right? Just moved on with my life. But I'm still watching you now. Again, if this is the NFT store, at one point, 1 year ago, it was 70 cents. And today it was 7. Now it's 8. Almost 9 cents. Still, native 88% off from the high. But from the all-time low of our pandemic, it's still up 51 or 5,000%. Right? So just want to keep those things in mind. It depends on somebody's perspective too, right? What is the price evidence telling me? It is in a weekly downtrend. If somebody told me about Doge right here in July 2020, it's a totally different story. Because then I would say, wait a second, we're in like a weekly uptrend. Then why don't we just put on some risk and just let this thing go, right? Or at least 30% target, or let it go, right? And then it goes up. And then it goes up. So again, it depends on your time frame, your perspective. Are you going to hold this thing for 10 years? Am I going to trade it for 3 days? Am I going to hold it for 3 months? Am I going to scalp it for 5 minutes? Everything's different strategy and different mentality. If somebody's a 5-minute scalper, it's not the time to long right now. There was a perfect spot right here at 7 o'clock in the morning, my time. Somebody made 4% and then they got out. I could see it. The big sell orders right here and right here. And right here. Somebody actually played it. They pushed it up and then they sold it. Right? That was the play. 4%. They're out. Done for the day. Move on. Swing traders are looking for their next low point. We did just have it on last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So instead of me longing crypto, I long stocks, and I sold today. I'm a swing trader. So that was about a week of holding. Investors are thinking about that NFT story mentality, okay? But I know from experience, if you want the best price possible on Dogecoin, on crypto, you just want the whole market to crash down so the asset prices are cheaper. Okay. So I remember Dogecoin when it was worth nothing, 0.001. And then I bought Dogecoin at, I think it was like 0.06 or something like that. Over here, right? When it was doing this, when it was going up, that's why you want to buy on the way up. The problem with buying stuff on the way down is, where is the bottom? Question mark. It might be here. It might be here, but if you're really conservative, I would want to see at least a little bit of a change in the direction, and then maybe buy some. You could buy it up there. Or if someone's, like I said, really aggressive, applies to all cryptos. That's why I'm taking so much time to talk about it. It just depends. If someone's really aggressive with a stop loss, then it's actually okay to try. Because of that, it's negative 80% NFT discount example mentality right off the point A retrace. If it's not going to stop here, I mean, it can just keep crashing down to nothing, right? So if somebody's going to try it, maybe here, a small amount of capital, right? All right, let's do a quick visual just to see if anything's suspicious, and then we'll close out for today. So today I sprinkled in a lot of education knowledge throughout the live stream. It's not just talking about numbers like support, resistance, and trend. It's more about this thought process and what type of trader are you? Investor, day trader, or swing trader? What type of assets do you invest in? Can I control my emotions? Can I control thoughts and feelings such as greed and fear? What kind of charts am I looking for? What kind of assets am I looking for? What kind of indicators or alerts or in price action? Like, what is it I'm looking for, right? If you study enough, if a trader studies enough, it's all learnable, right? Somebody can learn it all. So Shiba Inu, all I'm going to say is a little suspicious why the creator of Shiba Inu like disappeared off the internet. Who knows, right? That's not really a good sign. But we have this support level down here, this support trend line down here. And then we have the resistance trend line up here. So is it on these two yellow lines? Is it at the support level or at the resistance level? For me, it's double bottom off the support level. So, although the CEO disappearing is bad, right? But if this was not Shiba Inu, it's like, well, it's at the support level. So then the target is up here for swing trading, right? But the fact that the owner disappears, I don't know about if I want to touch this right now until he shows up again or explains why he disappeared. Right? Because why would somebody just run away from the internet, or not run away, but disappear? Why? I want to start thinking about those things, right? So just be careful. On crypto, again, I'm not calling anybody out right now. It's just on crypto, you want to be very careful about what people say and what people do, right? Because crypto is not money, global money yet. It might happen someday. It's not yet, though. We're still using cash and credit cards every day. So it's still a 2-to-1 setup. So I would, if someone wants to try it, very, very small amount of capital. There's a 50% upside. But how long does that take? If it doesn't happen in a month or two, the chances are going down. That's probably not going to happen. MATIC, we hit this 0.786. This is interesting. It broke down out of the triangle. We hit that negative 60%-ish target, and then we bounced up. Now, what I'm looking for on this chart is, because you could see it now in the price action. This thing's going down. This thing's going down. Woo, big capitulation down. But isn't that just this lower low? So on a weekly, I would expect, it would be nice if this thing goes back up to like $1. All right, let me erase everything. Right, if you look on a weekly, you'll get what I'm saying. Is lower low, lower high, and then big lower low. And it's like, well, did it bottom out? Because if it's yes, then it should bounce up to 80 cents. That could be a swing trade, right? That would be 20%, basically. What's the risk? the candle of the week, so 10%. So this is more of a swing trade, 10% risk, 20% stop loss. This is totally crypto swing trading. Excuse me, 20% profit target, 10% stop loss. Right? On this little bullish divergence, this little bullish momentum right here. See if this little thing breaks out. If it does, great, phenomenal, great. But if it pulls back down again, okay, it might consolidate for a while before it makes a decision in the market. Is it going to crash or is it going to go up? It would have been a little safer, like I said, if somebody bought the May 27th low here, support low here. Then somebody's already up, 50%, and then there's a little bit of buffer room there. The problem is chasing. In crypto, I learned to not chase. Like, don't chase things. Like, if I see green, don't chase it. Why? Because the market makers are going to crush me. What do I mean? If I try to chase these green candles, what's the next like 3 candles? Big red, and then one green, and then another big red. So we're going to stop down that trade. Here too. If I'm chasing up here, I see green and I wake up one morning and I just chase it and try to FOMO it. And, oh, I want the money, or I want the trade, or I missed it. No. Then the market makers and the charts, it's probably too high on the intraday charts. It's going to pull back down on me. That's why I know from experience, just living in the crypto space, trading for a long time, for years, 4+ years, is you want to always buy low. Just buy as low as possible. That's the best chance. With a stop loss, of course. And then trying to buy high on crypto is like, that's dangerous. Because crypto is volatile. This looks like not a big move, but if you go all the way back down, it's negative 15%. You can only make that mistake 6 to 7 times before somebody goes bankrupt, right? So like if they're going all in, you can't make that mistake 7 times in a row or else game over. Right? So that's why for me, I learned for crypto, I'm very, 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 actually for stocks too, I am conservative on my entries. Why? To protect principal, number 1. Number 2, to protect profits, if there are profits. And I just know overtrading is not the way, right? It's I just saw this quote from Charlie Munger, and I'll end soon. Charlie Munger, one of the most successful investors. He's Warren Buffett's business partner at Berkshire Hathaway. They do not like crypto, but for stocks, I learned from him is that there's this quote online. He said, "The big money is not in the buying and the selling. The big money is in the waiting. Meaning, a trader should not try to trade every single candle. There's no point, right? There's no point to try to capture and flip every single candle. Like, oh, go long here. Next day it's red. Oh, sell it. I'm wrong. Oh, and then go green next day. Oh, next day I'm wrong. And then, oh, next day I'm wrong. And a trader would have wasted 10 trades. There's no point in that, right? If you're a swing trader, if you're this is not talking about day trading, but if you're a swing trader investor, you actually have to wait. You have to wait, right? Because what is 3% profit when on MATIC there was 80% profit 6 months ago, right? With a 20% stop loss or like a 10%. It was actually 10%, just 10%, right? So that's the difference. That's the difference between, in my opinion, between beginner, intermediate, and advanced is, do people actually know what they're doing in the market, right? So this stream is a little bit more on the advanced side, okay? So if somebody's just starting off, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, okay? I'm talking about price action. So if you're just starting off today, welcome, or starting off this month, the first thing we need to do as a beginner is study the price. Study candles. These are called candles, price candles, right? Study the candles, study the price patterns, and then study some indicators. You just Google it, YouTube, go on TradingView. What are these? What is this? Moving average, RSI, MACD, right? This is like the standard package you just find anywhere. It's no secret. It's all public information. And then I would recommend paper trading. right? Because if you're just starting out or beginner intermediate level, or if you don't want to risk all your capital, paper trade. You could paper trade USD cryptos infinite amount of times. You could trade US stocks and ETFs infinite amount of times during market hours, open market hours. You just click one button and now it's on. You have the 100,000 fake dollars, the paper trading, and you have to set it up right here. Your commission settings, the trading settings, right? Then you open up the little order box, right? And you could just go to town, practicing and studying. Sky's the limit. Actually, how much work a trader and study puts in will determine how successful they are, right? So what people don't know about me behind the scenes, I spent so many hours practicing and studying. At one point, I was spending 8 hours every Saturday studying charts and practicing trading. I was doing it, and I took breaks in between, but I was going, deep. I went deep, with the studying and the work. And then years later is paying off. Right? So, everybody's journey is different, but I would highly recommend paper trading. TradingView YouTube is a great resource. TradingView articles are phenomenal. TradingView YouTube is phenomenal. TradingView itself is phenomenal, right? You got all the tools here you need on the left side. I would encourage you to just check them out, study it, and just check it out, right? This is kind of fun. Now there's even a tweet. There's a tweet tool that wasn't there before, right? The signpost. There's all these there's trend line, extended line, horizontal line, parallel channel, rectangles, triangles, long position, short position. These are the probably the most important tools for risk management, right? And then up here, you get all your public indicators in this button, right? There's the technicals. All this is free. It's free. I have looked at every single one of these, right? So it just depends on how much study and practice and work somebody's willing to put into it to learn, to move forward. And it looks easy, but it's not. It is not easy, right? There's that statistic that 90% plus of traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days. Day traders, right? Which means 90% of day traders fail. But there is that 10% who succeeds with working hard, studying, working hard as well. So with that being said, what's going forward, what's happening right now in stocks and crypto, I know it's a really difficult time right now because this is like the first time probably in modern history we're having so many negative global events all at the same time within a span of 2 years. It's pretty wild if you think about it. Some pretty wild times we're living in right now. In the market, though, it's reflected by wild volatility. So, it depends on, again, the questions like I have to ask myself again to close out is, what type of trader and investor am I? What assets do I trade? Like stocks, ETFs, crypto, etc. Do I know what I'm looking for on the charts, price patterns, or indicators? And then do I have the emotional discipline and the work ethic to make it all happen, put it all together, right? And then do I have the risk management? So I'm not gambling on anything. It's controlled risk and reward. Controlled risk and reward ratios, right? On crypto, the ratios are really large because the cryptos are penny coins, basically, most of them, except for the majors, right? So then it just depends. How much dollars am I willing to lose on this setup that I'm staring at in front of me right now? If I'm staring at MATIC, how much am I willing to risk on MATIC? First of all, is MATIC even good as a coin? What does it do? What's the white paper? Who are the staff? It's just like all this research, right? And then I come onto the chart and say, okay, it's getting close. Are we going to get a reversal? How much capital am I going to put on it? What's my reward to risk ratio? And then I just emotionally let go of the trade. And then if it, the market will tell me if my charts are wrong or right. But if you're patient enough and you're good enough, you know, you want to be on the right side of these trades more often than not. Okay. So last thing, for example, is, again, what's more important than chasing watch list numbers? Just turn it all off. You can even turn the volume off if you're doing a price only study. If I see a chart like this, what phase are we in? Right? Are we in the accumulation phase? Are we in the markup uptrend phase? Are we in the consolidation distribution phase? Or are we in the pullback possible capitulation phase? Right? Identifying it is the key. Because are we in an uptrend right now? The answer is no. We are in a downtrend right now. People are just trying to play the bounce. Right? You go consolidation to markup to consolidation to pullback. Is this the bottom of the crypto market? Probably not. Is this a tradable bounce, tradable bottom? It might be. But the longer term is downtrend. Okay, so we just leave it, we'll just end it right here, just to keep that in mind. Is what phase, what area would I want to buy? And then how can I execute that on every single chart that I see? That's the strat. But this is Wyckoff method that I'm talking about for today. Okay, everybody. So thank you so much for watching. I know I talked a lot today, but I'm just giving free knowledge and education once in a while to people who follow me on my stream. Okay, so I'm streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and I also have a Discord group available. So if you learned something, if you like this stream, go ahead and give me a follow on those platforms. And I hope you have a good day. Hope you have some good trading, and I'll see you on the next stream, which will most likely be next weekend. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.